Hello, all you SEC fans out there. Welcome in. It is SEC After Dark on the Bleav Network, on the Y'all's Conference Network. Joining me, I'm Corey Burton, is Stephen Willis, Jeb Beecham, and Jake Thomas. We missed you last week. Had a little touch of the illness, and as you can see from my sweaty forehead, we're still dealing with that a little bit. I'm recovered, but seems like everybody else in my house is not, so I'm Nurse Corey. At your service. Got a lot to talk about. A really good SEC championship game, at least good for me.
No, I thought your hair was just greasy, Corey. My bad. Don't.
I mean, it could be. It feels like I haven't showered in 14 days, but I showered this morning actually. So
you got to tell our secrets.
I've just been constantly sweating. Which I don't know what's worse at this point. But we got a lot to talk about. Brought to you by betonline.ag, the world's best betting network out there. You've got World Cup stuff to bet on right there. You've got Heisman. You can't see my Heisman, but you got the Heisman to vote for. You got all these bowl games scrolling down. There's some bowl pick'ems, some free contests, things like that. Live odds. You got NBA, college basketball's in full swing. The chat's in full swing.
Yes.
So you can bet online. Is that again? It gives you all the latest odds. There's good pick'em games. You can bet live odds, things like that. It's your number one source. You get a 50% welcome bonus if you sign up using the promo code Bleav. That's BLEAV. Type that in. Go claim your welcome bonus and enjoy everything that BetOnline has to offer. BetOnline is where the game starts. Follow us on social media at SEC_after_dark, at Coach Burton 36, at the Stephen Willis, at Jake Thomas TTS, and at Stolen Grin UT.
No, it's UTK Joe.
Yeah, UTK. Yeah,
UTK Joe. So I get your display name and your handle. Backwards. You're still just a dude.
Yeah, he'll accept your friend request in about 6 months.
Yeah, he'll try to figure out if you're real or fake on Snapchat.
Right.
So add Jeb on Snapchat. He may or may not ever hear from him. So we'd love to hear from you in the chat. Speaking of, what's up, John? Like I said, we missed you last week. There was a few good games on. That Big 12 championship game was a great warm up. The SEC championship was as advertised. And then, the nightcaps were kind of a snoozer. But lots in the transfer portal. Dylan Johnson had a pretty good note for the Pirate.
Chose violence.
He did. He definitely woke up and said, hey, I'm going to swing my sword. And that he did. So where do y'all want to start?
Oh, John.
Not on the SEC championship game, because it's the first time in many years when the SEC championship game was just blah. It was over almost before it started. Honestly, at halftime, the second half, I thought the game should have had a running clock. That's how one-sided it was. And
I will say Nussmeier looked really good, though. I will give LSU credit on that. He looked really good.
Yeah, but how much of that good looking was an account of Georgia taking their foot off the gas?
Yeah, that's true. They still had the first string defense in there though most of the game. So.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that, if you watched the first quarter and just watched it all the way through, you would think that LSU was doing all right, and right about that time they were down 21-7. It was just a weird game.
It was.
It started with that block kick where Chris Smith had the heads-up play to wait for it, and then pick it up right before it stopped rolling.
Yeah,
the turning point.
That was this year's version of the fake slide.
Yeah.
Some of you think
they waited until it's a live ball and it's perfectly fine, but it was also perfectly fine to do a fake slide. When everybody gave up is whenever he ran. The play wasn't technically over.
Not covering the kick.
It's one of those situations where LSU special team gets a lot of the blame because they've done some boneheaded things this year. But on that one right there, I don't know if I blame LSU so much because, I mean, that was on the edge of being blown dead.
Yeah. I mean, one more roll it would have been.
Yeah.
I mean.
But he didn't let it go one more roll. He picked it up. So
I mean, it's a smart move by him.
Still a live ball.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely.
So, you gotta.
But with LSU special teams, he might not have known they might not have known that could even been returned. I mean, nobody was even in the frame. I don't think any LSU player even chased him.
No.
I mean, it was a bad look all the way around.
They assumed it was dead from the jump. Yeah. I mean, you saw as soon as it was tipped, those guys were starting to walk away. So
their head dropped, and
they just
at that point right there, the SEC championship game was over.
Yeah, they didn't know. They were drastically. I mean, that was an out-coached moment just for the sheer fact that they had no inkling that ball could have been live. I mean, you see guys all the time, whether if they're unsure if it's not a fumble or not on a sideways pass, they're going to pick it up just in case.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You always see that. They pick it up just in case. They treat it, okay, we're going to treat this thing like a live ball. It may not be. That's fine. We know without a shadow of a doubt sometimes it's not, but we're going to treat it as if it is. You have to do the same thing. I've seen it happen on kickoffs where guys let the ball roll and they think, if I don't touch it, it's not a live ball. And it is a live ball. Happened to us at Hillwood. It's happened. I saw it happen on the college level. I was watching a G5 game. I can't remember exactly who it was. But the ball bounced. He thought it was going to go out of bounds. It didn't. The other team guy came screaming through and recovered it. Stuff like that. You gotta know when it's a live ball, when it's not. So, yeah, I definitely blame LSU's coaching staff for that. They've got to say that's a day one camp special teams period deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have to remember to play to the whistle. The difference between that and the fake slide is if you continued with that play, even if there wasn't a whistle, you're going to get a penalty for touching that guy when he starts to slide. So I understand why they stopped that. This kind of thing, though, no, you have to learn. If there's no whistle, you can keep going.
Right.
Yeah. So, Jake,
and they saw that ball didn't cross the end zone.
Yeah. That field goal they picked up, what not take into account when it happened, because obviously the kick six would take the cake over that one. But the most bizarre field goal block return, would it be this SEC championship game or the kick six?
I'm not being a homer here, but I would have to give it to actually this one right here because, I mean, Auburn knew what was going to happen if it come up short. They was going to return anyway. And this one, I mean, like we said, all them guys, they were already trotting out the field, and they were just like, it's going to get blown dead or something, but it never did. And he took it back to the house. So, I mean, I would give the cake to this what happened last Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because, like, the kick six, it's right on the edge. Like, I mean, he was on the edge of the back line, and he reached back and caught it. Like, that was kind of a hell of a catch to even get a chance to return it. Alabama guys covered; they just couldn't.
Well, we had our block team in there, to make sure nobody got through to block it, and we had no speedsters out there.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job covering it. They just didn't. They just weren't athletic enough to actually cover it.
Right.
And yeah, that was Todd Monken because he thought maybe he was going to lose 15 yards of field position because he was going to pick it up and get tackled right there, and he didn't.
Yeah.
It was bizarre. It was bizarre. The whole thing was weird.
Yeah, Cassie made a great point. The SEC championship hats looked
They couldn't spring for Nike.
I know it was.
They have it in the budget for Nike.
I mean, it said football champions on there. I'm like,
looked like the most budget thing of all time.
Yeah, it was weird.
The Blue Cross Bowl hats. Ev and Steve, you know what I'm talking about. The Blue Cross Bowl hats looked better than those.
I was actually driving that day, so I had to see all this on replay, so I didn't see the hats. I was looking that up while y'all were talking.
The hats
that's pretty bad.
The hats were garbage.
They were garbage.
You know,
the
most
business
championship
books
hats are garbage, though.
Yeah, because I think they have to make them kind of neutral so that you don't know which team they're going to be given to.
But no, I mean
No.
Nike usually comes through on some of them. Like the big bowl game hats, the Natty hats were Nike, and they were really good quality.
Yeah.
Not these.
And the SEC championship hats are usually pretty good quality.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're not Nike, they're usually pretty good. They're usually at least good quality.
I mean, the championship ones from last year, Alabama won with really a whole lot better than those did.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So,
Maybe they should have
I
opted for
haven't
the
seen
Brian
them.
Robinson
Are
big
they
hats.
Russells?
Yeah.
I think they're the 24/7 brand.
Mm-hmm.
That that
Yeah.
fan or whatever that fan 47 or 247 brand or something like that.
That's what they look like, yeah.
But just the design on the front of the hat was budget. The hat itself was probably pretty good quality. Just the design on it was just budget.
Garbage.
Looks like there's zipper.
You know what? We should
Yeah.
we should probably move on beyond this SEC championship game. Congratulations, Georgia. Honestly,
Yeah,
congratulations for LSU because you got there and you had no business getting there this year. But
And
you
you
did.
and you found out that Nussmeier might actually be better than Jaden Daniels.
And
Yeah, and Jaden Daniels looked good all year.
let's,
Well, I mean,
let's simmer down a bit.
He looked
Good
like
runner.
he looked like Peyton Manning against our secondary.
Yeah, it could be a Kenny Trill type moment. Just sit back.
Well, whatever it was, that might be the only game where he looks like that. But dude was dropping down. Dude couldn't miss. Dude couldn't throw a bad pass until like the very,
But
very
you
end.
were up by 40 points. I mean,
Good thing.
let's settle down a little bit
Yeah,
there.
Good thing we were.
they had 400.
They would have won the game.
400 plus passing yards, I believe. LSU
We gave
ended
up.
with.
Yeah.
Yes, Stetson with what 5 touchdowns or something like that in the game. Got a trip to New York at it by throwing like half of his touchdown passes for the season or something.
Good thing we did. Good thing we said, hey, this game's going to be a shootout, I guess. So we're just going to have to keep going.
Going for 2 after you scored 48 points.
Yeah.
That felt personal.
Yeah, it did.
There was something personal there. There has to be. That's
That
kinda
has to be
Kirby's MO a little bit.
2019, right? 2019? Kind of
Yeah,
revenge for
probably.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, Orgeron was a finalist. He pulled out. They gave that job to Barry Odom, UNLV.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
He was named. He already had his team meeting and everything. It's a good hire.
I was rooting for Ed Orgeron to get that job so he could coach both sets of Rebels.
Mm.
Yeah.
And him in Las Vegas would just that needed a reality show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a little personal. I don't know if it was like directed at Brian Kelly or if it was just directed at LSU in general.
No. I think that was directed at the helmet.
Yeah, Kirby does things like that. He Michael Jordan's things where he's like he takes things personally that he probably shouldn't or don't exist. And yeah, I took that personally. Yeah, he walked by me in the restaurant
We took that first.
and knocked a pea off my plate, knocked a green bean out of place, and man, I took that personally. So I went for 2.
All I know is that second half, Kirby's just giggling the whole second half. It's like LSU score again. Make it a little bit closer because poor Ohio State doesn't stand a chance now.
Nope.
Yeah.
Ohio State might score 10 points for that whole game.
I hope they're able to affect C.J. Stroud and not let him sit back there and throw for 500 yards, but give him the hooker treatment.
Who's going to be on Harrison Jr.? Is it going to be Ringo?
Yeah, he's got to have a little better game there. He's hustling backwards.
Kiwi Ringo looks like a strong safety playing corner.
He does.
Good.
He's almost outgrown the position.
Yeah, you just look over there, and it's almost like Shaq standing next to a normal sized person. It's like, you're a corner. You're not supposed to look like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got that hair. He just looks like, he looks like a linebacker. He looks like if Richard Sherman worked out and became a linebacker. That's what he looks like.
Yeah. Well, that'd be Stamario Davis, right?
Yeah. God, he used to be really smooth and fluid in coverage, and you couldn't get anything on him. But I think he's got too bulky a little bit.
Do you guys remember the incredible bulk at Florida State back in the 90s? I think it was Dan Kendra playing quarterback.
Dan Kendra. Mm-hmm.
Ended up basically got recruited as a quarterback, ended up as a fullback because he just grew up to like a 250-pound.
Yeah, the dude was like one of the buffest dudes on the team. Like he looked like a steroid.
He probably was
like
a steroid.
Yeah, he looked like it. He looked like he should have been in that expose that Sports Illustrated did. You know, where they showed all the roid ragers. He probably should have been in that one. I mean, he was a monster.
Yeah, but Jared Lorenzen was really big. I mean, he was like 260, wasn't he?
Yeah, but that wasn't steroids that did that.
Well, yeah.
That was
Twinkies.
Yeah.
That was the dining hall.
Yeah.
Shutting the dining hall down.
That's us fat people with steroid is the dining hall.
Yeah. Now, Steve, it's the old
Pillsbury
it's the Ole Miss
Throwboy. I hate what's happened to him.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. He was one of my all-time favorites, but I love the name the Pillsbury Throwboy.
Yeah,
That's right.
And CBS would always
swing it.
They would always inevitably do the thing where they dressed him up as a lineman and see if you could figure out which one Lorenzen was.
Yeah.
I mean, you knew what his face looked like, so like it wasn't hard to pick him out. But you're like, okay, really, if you didn't know what his face looked like, he blends in really, really well.
Right.
Terrible.
Now, Steve, at Ole Miss, at the dining halls, like, did the offensive linemen have to have tables to themselves just to house all their food?
No, not most of the time. They ate at the training table at the facility, so offensive linemen didn't really go to the dining hall.
At Georgia, we didn't really have. When I was there, we didn't have the training table. So they all ate at the dining halls, and like there was only one dining hall open on Sunday mornings, in Athens, and so I'd go in there and Max Gene Gillis, starting right guard, he played for the Eagles for a few years. I'd come in, he'd have one of those four seaters to himself, and every inch of that was covered with a plate.
My God.
Lord.
Like it was an obscene amount of food.
I had to be some sturdy tables and chairs for the big old offensive linemen.
I mean, and they'd ride around on those little mopeds, you know.
Oh my God.
Kevin Breedlove, who's like 370 pounds, he's just like a head and a body. Like, there's like not really much of a neck. I mean, it's just a head and a body. He'd ride around shirtless in Athens on one of those things, but it was glorious.
Oh my God.
Sounds great. I don't know what the problem is.
Lineman pride, baby. That guy didn't give a you know what.
Gosh, he's been a lineman.
That's the thing about fat people. We love taking our shirt off and make people uncomfortable. It's just something we love to do. So
it is enjoyable.
It is.
Let's move on to the
portal. And that's when offensive linemen, it was okay for them to be fat still. Now they're all now they're just mammoths.
Heavy.
Yeah. Heavy.
They're just heavy.
Mm-hmm.
They're aliens now because they're like they weigh 380 pounds, but like they have 6 ounces of body. They have 6% body fat. I'm like, how?
And they can move too. I mean, they got quick feet.
You just look at them, it's like you're going to regret this at some point in the near future.
You have to lose it at some point, or it'll kill you.
I mean, shit, those guys lose it real. Those guys lose it real quick.
Not the other case. There was like some players as soon as they quit playing, they just balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, if you're in great
they don't look. Yeah, they don't look. Yeah, they don't look like
all that food to stay big.
Well, it depends on how frequently you eat. Like some of those guys, they cut their diet by 3 quarters, and then they end up just dropping rapidly to like 220 because they cut their calories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, David Pollock, Joe Thomas, all that stuff. But like, you have other guys that they don't ever stop eating, but they stop working out, and those are the guys that get up to like 600 pounds. All right, portal.
Portal.
What's going on?
Since I ain't tough enough.
Dylan
Since I ain't very
Johnson
tough.
just woke up and chose violence today. That must have been one hell of an exit interview.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what happened?
Mississippi State backup running back.
You're not very tough, Dylan. You should you probably like candy corn. That's my Leach impression.
He was probably eating fish sandwiches with his fat little girlfriend, as my Leach would say. So,
And
What did this guy say that was so bad?
he said that I'm leaving because you don't think I'm tough, and Mike Leach is happy that I'm leaving anyway.
Golly.
That was in his
yeah.
transfer portal announcement letter thing.
Boom! A swift kick to the nuts for the Pirate.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
He retweets everything.
And he's still going after John Skolkoff or whatever.
Yes. I love it.
Well,
Funny.
Do you guys want to know what my opinion of what actually happened was?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
Auburn
you haven't really talked about it much, so.
No, I haven't talked about this because we haven't had a show. I think he had the job and agreed he was going to be the next Auburn head coach. As of Tuesday or Wednesday night, he was going to do that. And then I got rumors from my guys over there that there was a problem with the contract. And we started talking back and forth, and it sounded like that Auburn promised that it was going to be a Jimbo Fisher guaranteed type contract. But when the actual offer came over, there was a buyout. So that is where it turned. Well, yeah, they didn't have to pay. It was a 10-year, $120 million contract that had a buyout attached of $20 or $30 million instead of him being guaranteed that $120 million.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about how stupid it would be to give somebody so much money like they just did with Jimbo Fisher. And I guess Auburn was trying to find a way to wiggle out of that. So
Yeah.
I don't blame Lane Kiffin for not taking it, though.
But where did they have the $120
hired
million at?
Freezus.
Oh,
that
my
mean?
goodness. Did y'all see the graphic by Hugh Freeze?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, my goodness. Whoever did that should have been fired. Like,
Yeah,
immediately.
Look it up, Jeb.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's very bad.
It's sitting here. It's like, even...
tone deaf graphic.
You can. It's just safe search, dude. You can save. Just search Auburn football. Auburn football tweeted it.
I don't know. That pulls up a lot of weird stuff, but
Yeah, I don't know if Jeb should be allowed to search stuff on his own.
Ha
Put that in his contract. It's a huge freeze clause.
Yeah.
Like,
Did
how
you
do
see
you
it,
have?
Jeb?
How do you have to
I
put?
see it.
How do you have to put a clause in some guy's contract that he can't use social media and you can't issue him a phone? Like, isn't that a red flag?
Oh, it's like 7 red flags.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that would alone be a red flag.
This is just code for deal with it. I like this. So, your feelings, man.
Yeah.
John says, Jeb, don't search Georgia all whites.
No.
Way too late for that, man. Way too late.
Yep.
This is a fun season, and our games to watch, we realize it's the Iron Bowl and the Egg Bowl is still over there, but there's no games this week. So it was either empty or just don't mess with it. So next week it'll change. It'll be the Oregon State and Florida game because the SEC bowl season will start on the 17th, and then there's a game on the 23rd. So there's games when there's not really normally SEC games.
Florida played in the Gasparilla Bowl again?
No. Missouri's in the Gasparilla Bowl, which I'm all about the Gasparilla Bowl because I know what that is. And I'm a huge
Bad
fan
boy
of that.
mowers. Mow with an attitude.
That's a
the only time.
sponsor. That's not the
I know.
Gasparilla. Okay.
I know, but no other bowl has that sponsor, so you don't get to see that commercial.
Yeah. But
Wake Forest.
Florida's in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Which, yeah, that'll go well for their team.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, they have like 40 people on scholarship at this point. So, did you see that
Yeah.
graphic came out with Fox? It's like Anthony Richardson will go in the top blank of the NFL draft, and I was like, 1,000? I don't what?
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant?
Yeah.
What pick is the 6th round? Because I'm saying that.
Well, I'm gonna say honestly, a serious answer here. I'm gonna say kind of about where Malik Willis went, because someone is going to be enamored with his arm strength and his physical gifts. They're gonna be like, some dude's gonna be like, yeah, I can make a quarterback out of him. Oh yeah,
Browns.
Yeah, that's the Browns. I can see. Jets have their project, so we'll see.
He's gonna go to Tampa.
It's hurt right now, though.
He's gonna go to Tampa.
Somebody said that the head of the Carolina Panthers is really enamored with Will Levis with the 6th pick, and it was like, there has to be another Will Levis in this draft.
Yeah,
there's no way you would get. Yeah,
it's the Saints. Go ahead.
It's the Panthers.
Terrible.
The Panthers. So same division. Yeah, the Saints don't need any help. They're terrible. They've gone back to the Yanks, and I'm just done. Yeah.
I was so blown away that you said somebody was interested in the top 10 at Will Levis, and
yeah, it's like what? It just started going just a buzzing noise at that point. It's like what is happening?
I was short circuiting. Yeah, so Panthers. Yeah, it's a great pick. Great pick.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Baker Mayfield.
Do it.
Yeah,
do it.
I think the Panthers have already given up on the Ole Miss quarterback.
No, the Ole Miss quarterback's hurt. He got hurt in the preseason. He's out for the year.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but when they draft another project, he's their project.
Well, if they draft Will Levis, they're drafting a backup because he's not beating out Corral to begin with.
No.
Who's their quarterback? Are they still trotting Sam Darnold out there? Is that who
now they are. They just waived Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, they brought Sam Darnold back
because the Rams just picked him. But they were toying with PJ Tucker at one point.
Oh yeah, he played. Yeah.
Which, by the way,
didn't do that bad.
Houston Roughnecks alum, and the new jerseys came out today. The Roughnecks jerseys look pretty good.
Yeah, XFL.
Yeah. And the DC Defenders jersey looks pretty good too. Kind of like an Ole Miss Realtree, the helmet they wore against Kentucky, kind of that type thing. Yeah.
Well, let's talk transfer portal, because there's a lot of, Anthony Richardson is definitely not going in the transfer portal. But I'll tell you who is Bryce Young. I mean, where's he going to end up? I think he's going to end up at UNLV with Barry Odom.
Bryce
Young is going to end up like top 1 or 2 in the NFL draft.
I know. I was referring to that fake, the fake transfer portal announcement that's going around on him.
I was trying to decide who else was named Bryce Young in the league.
I'm a Crimson
Wolf.
Wolf.
There's a lot of Youngs.
The Crimson Wolf. I was like,
you got dumbass reporters. And I'm sorry to say that, but it is. That says stuff like, if you're Bryce Young, shouldn't you just go ahead and transfer to see what you can get before you are going to declare whether or not with the NFL draft? No. That's stupid. That is called flushing every bit of goodwill down the drain that you have built up by being a generational quarterback for no reason, because there's nobody that's going to pay you as much money as he's getting at Alabama.
It's stupid. Like, you're not going to. Like, why would you waste your time?
Yeah, it's dumb.
Like, you're not going to go anywhere.
Don't a top pick in the NFL draft, aren't they guaranteed like $60 million right off the bat?
Yeah.
So
but the signing,
nobody is going to,
You get 5 years. You get 4 years with a 5th-year option and $60 million guaranteed to be like number 1 or number 2.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And it goes down from there, but I just feel bad that Bryce will get picked by the Texans and have to play behind that offensive line.
I don't, because I'm a Saints fan, so I got to hear stories about Archie Manning having to play behind that offensive line. So everybody, David Carr it up. Let's do it.
Yeah. So I always say poor David Carr.
Yeah. The transfer portal, though, Devin Leary.
Good thing he can run.
From NC State going into the transfer portal.
I think he's going to end up at Notre Dame, unfortunately.
I think that's going to be Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about him going to Notre Dame.
Yeah, so I think Brennan Armstrong would be either him or Brennan Armstrong. I think they're the candidate for the top quarterback. And I think Armstrong would be a great fit in Napier's offense.
He'd be a great fit anywhere he goes, to be honest with you. I really like Brennan Armstrong.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, you got DJ Ukulele. I think he's going out to USC or UCLA.
I said he was going to end up in Georgia. I was like, I hope not.
No. If he is, he gets to just sit on the bench with all the other 5 stars.
Right.
Yeah, he's going out west. There's no way.
Yeah. Hudson Card showing up. I think he's going to end up going he's a candidate for somewhere in the SEC.
Yeah.
Kentucky, maybe. I heard Kentucky for Graham Mertz, maybe.
Potentially,
Graham Mertz
I think Kentucky is going to do the portal thing for a quarterback, obviously, with Levis disappearing.
Yeah, they need some help.
Because Graham Mertz is leaving Wisconsin.
Where does Spencer Sanders
Phil
I think he'll
Longo,
go?
Steve, your boy Phil Longo just signed on to be the OC at Wisconsin.
Yeah,
We'll talk about that in just a second, but I do want to address real quick. Spencer Sanders, I think he'd be a really good fit at Auburn.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a Malik Willis type, Hugh Freeze. I mean, that one just makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's probably down to party too. So
Yeah. and Phil Longo in Wisconsin, I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. And
he wanted a challenge, I guess.
Man, that cuts Auburn's coaching candidates down by like half. Him and Jack McNeil going up there. Because if you look at a hot list of all the coaches for the Auburn jobs, it's like ex-Ole Miss assistants and Ole Miss assistants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, come on, Hugh. We know you have a type, but where are these 200 coaches that were calling you about the job when you got it?
They ain't there.
Where do y'all think
Deion's
Leonard
pulling
ends
me.
up at? Since he's leaving Wisconsin after the bowl game.
Who?
Jim Leonard.
Jim Leonard.
I don't know.
Alabama.
I wish. Oh my God.
That'd
We
be
got to
nice,
get rid of Pete Golden first.
Well, the other co-defensive coordinator's out in Colorado.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Charles Curley left.
Deion
Play
is
with Deion?
cooking.
I
Deion's
loved-
cooking
I-
right
picked up
now.
I loved his speech.
Picked up
Oh,
Sean
my.
Lewis
Yeah.
as his offensive
He's got
coordinator.
3 or 4 head coaches that are on his staff already.
Mhm.
I mean, what he's doing with USC and UCLA getting out of there, he has a chance to run that conference.
Mhm.
Yeah, he is taking
Big time, and he will.
Give him a couple
start
years.
winning.
Give him
Everything
2
he's
years
doing.
to build that roster, and he'll build it to a juggernaut. He'll be competitive next year. With
Yeah,
Portland,
anybody that was a top 240 pick that went to Jackson State over the past 2 years, they're going to transfer to Colorado, so that's automatically going to be an upgrade because let's be real about that Colorado team. That's a 1-11 team.
Right.
Those people in that room need to get in the transfer portal and go play for Northern Colorado because that's their talent level.
Right.
And Deion needs as many of them to leave as possible because the way it works right now, no 25. Everything's based on the 85 scholarship limit. So if you got 50 spots that are open, you can sign 50 players. And the quicker that happens, the quicker the turnaround can happen.
And supposedly a lot of 5-stars have already reached out to him about coming out too. So, I mean, it's possible.
You think it's going to hamper him with these 4 and 5 stars? The fact that the NIL is not really going to be there as big for Colorado. I mean, he's not gonna
they're
have
in the
near as much
Denver
money
area.
for him.
They'll find it. They'll find
Yeah.
some NIL.
I think
Trust me.
the draw is Deion Sanders. I think everybody wants to play for him. Kind
He'll
of
draw a
like
lot of people just being him. I agree with
right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like there's
Colorado
a
beat an FCS team.
yeah.
Yeah,
they
that's
may have beat they beat Colorado State, didn't they?
Well,
No.
you said FCS.
Did
I'm
they?
just kidding.
Yeah, because they were both winless when they played, and I think Colorado beat Colorado State.
Oh, what's his name from San Jose State's about to be the Stanford head coach.
Mm-hmm.
I forget his name.
Okay,
He turned that program around, made them from a 1-win program to a bowl team, perennial bowl team.
yeah,
San
they're in
Jose
the famous Idaho Potatoes
Idaho potato
Bowl.
bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Blue Turf Bowl, the one bowl game that I don't watch because of the turf color.
Oh, God, that's so.
Yeah.
Don't ever watch an Eastern Washington football game. I wanted to see what the red turf would look like. It's not
Mhm.
what you want.
The most inoffensive turf like that is Coastal Carolina,
Yeah,
and that's just because the
Well,
teal is so close to green. It
Yeah.
works.
it's pretty.
Colorado did not play Colorado State this year.
Really?
That's weird. Yeah, they beat Cal.
They beat Cal.
No,
Well, Cal was one of the
Cal's
11
god awful.
Yeah.
Deion chose Colorado because he wanted to prove Florida State they should have picked him over Norvell. No, I think he's.
I don't know. Norvell turned it around this year.
Yeah.
I don't know that Deion's.
They wouldn't fire him right now.
I don't know that he's thinking that way.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I
I don't know that he cares that much anymore. I think he just wants to move up the ladder at this point.
I think all coaches are mercenaries, so Deion's going to take his shots at as high as he can get. And in Colorado, in 3-4 years, if somebody comes calling, if he can jump to Ohio State or Florida State at that point, he will.
Yeah.
But
he won't stay at Colorado too long.
yeah, but I think he's going to stay there long enough to make them into a legitimate
Pac-12.
bowl team in the Pac-12.
Yeah,
I don't know if Pac-12 champions, but I think a legitimate bowl team.
Go compete.
If you're Colorado, that's all you can ask for at this point.
I was this close to Utah. My Utah in the playoff prediction. They won the Pac-12. They did that. They did that piece, but they lost 2 games. Unfortunately, so they couldn't get in the playoff.
They got beat by a team that got beat by Vanderbilt. That's why they didn't get in the playoff.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know about barely missing the playoffs. Well, so does Jake, actually. So
Yeah.
Well, hey, look at the bright side, Jeb. You continue your streak of every year not making the playoffs.
thank you. Yes.
Yeah, just like me.
What's that like?
Wonderful. Shut up.
Hey,
Only
just like
now
Tennessee.
here.
Just like Tennessee, we've been ranked in the top 4. We just weren't there at the end.
Yes. I was gonna say, I could claim we were number 1 in the nation at one point. For one
Well, I
week.
can't claim that. I think we got up to 3 is the highest we've been. Yeah, that first college football playoff ranking with Mississippi State number 1, Ole Miss number 3, and like Auburn number 4. It's just like, what?
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah. You think they're trying to drum up some excitement here? Yeah. Old TCU. How about TCU? That's the argument is TCU not dropping at all after losing.
That's the biggest one.
Well,
That's all that is so that Michigan and Ohio State doesn't have an immediate rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were still
And
12-0 in the regular season.
It's
and
like
I thought if
Georgia last
Tennessee
year
and Bama
dropping
got
to
it,
3.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
just
Some
so
of
they
that
didn't
is
get
just
an
for
immediate
matchup.
rematch with Bama. Yeah.
Yeah.
But really, I mean,
Like they would have done the same thing with Tennessee. Like if Tennessee was the team to get in, they would have put Tennessee in at 3 and dropped TCU to 4 in that scenario.
Yeah.
And
so
put
it's like
TCU against Georgia.
It's a real simple thing, though, Jeff. For Tennessee, the reason they didn't make the playoff is because you let South Carolina score 63 points.
Oh, I know why.
You made
even
Spencer
if-
Rattler look like Spencer Rattler.
I'm even, unlike most Tennessee fans, okay with us being ranked below Alabama. But that's more because we lost a Heisman contending quarterback. I mean, that.
Well,
once you did that, we're not the same team, and I get it.
Yeah. The thing about it is y'all didn't lose Hooker until like late in the 4th quarter in that game.
But
I mean,
but I think we still-
South
I don't
Carolina
know that y'all. I
dominated.
don't know that y'all would have. I don't know that y'all would have got in.
No, we wouldn't
Even
have got
with
in.
Hooker.
No.
I was saying
healthy.
if we still had Hooker, we should be ranked ahead of Alabama because we got the same record and we beat them head to head. There's just no reason not to. We even beat the other team.
I think Hooker or no Hooker, you should have been ranked ahead of Alabama because you beat them
Well,
head to head.
You
I
know
agree
what?
with that too. I'm just saying I was okay with I understand because we're not the same team. I get it.
And y'all destroyed LSU when we lost
right.
to them. So
That's right. And we don't have any other comment y'all didn't beat South Carolina. So
7-point
Or
dogs
Georgia.
to Clemson, by the way, Jeff. 7-point
yeah, I
dogs
saw
to
that
Clemson.
too. Again,
That
that's because of
is-
Hooker being gone. I think.
that
Well, it's
and that-
because they're going to start Klubnik instead of
Yeah.
Big Cinco.
Yeah. Oh,
Speaking of that game, that is perfectly, Orange Bowl versus the Orange.
Tennessee and Clemson, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody had fun with
Too
that.
much orange.
Yeah. Too much orange.
Let's just put a whole bunch of shades of orange in here and see how it goes.
Oh my god.
I'm disappointed Missouri didn't take the Liberty Bowl.
Yeah, that kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they
They
made
wanted
some
to
kind of
masquerade.
weird things like, hey, that's not what happened. We're not scared to play. Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're scared to play
If you wanted,
Kansas, so they're gonna
if
whip
you
their
wanted,
ass.
if you wanted that matchup, you could have had that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, And
Kansas is a good team,
the
man.
annual Texas Tech Ole Miss game.
Yeah, seriously. No joke. Since 1998, Ole Miss has played Texas Tech more than they've played Tennessee.
Wow,
That's ridiculous.
that is wild.
Like, come on now.
Yeah. Seriously.
We'd like to see another game. That'd be great.
Yeah. So,
Anyone
no Texas Tech, no Oklahoma State. Anybody else we're good with. We were even fine with Baylor because last year, at least, that's still in that family, but at least it was a different color, But, man, we just wanted a Big Ten team so much. But you know what? The truth is, don't call a stupid 2-point conversion play at the end of the Egg Bowl, or don't get boat raced in Arkansas by an average team, and you're playing down in Florida. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I am sure that I will be able to forgive for the last 2 weeks of the Ole Miss season. I am not sure that I'm going to be able to forget. And the next time this happens, it's going to go to volcanic much earlier by me, because those 2 games, it was absolutely sabotage at that point.
Well, I mean, he was absolutely gone too, from basically
Oh, yeah.
from what you're saying. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I was gonna
To
say,
the
if he
night
does
of-
that again, he better leave.
and
Yeah,
it led to a lot of anybody that would struggle. We're like, oh, they're going to Auburn. Oh, Ryan Day's struggling. Oh, he's going to Auburn. Ryan Day to Auburn.
But you knew they were hiring Hugh Freeze whenever they were getting boat raced by New Mexico State.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that you didn't even do a game plan this week.
Yeah.
Come out there at the play call and it says inside zone, and then like the Tecmo Bowl pass sheet.
Yeah.
And that was the whole game plan for the New Mexico State game.
What play you got, Hugh? Pass to the left.
Yep.
What formation? I don't care.
No, you
Just hit
okay.
Y. Just hit Y.
You got it's AAAB.
AAAB.
Just hit the triangle button.
Yeah. No.
Trying to be
You
inclusive
guys
for
are
Xbox.
those playbooks are too advanced. We're not dealing with Xbox or PlayStation. I'm way back with the Nintendo Entertainment System or the Super NES. We are talking Tecmo Bowl here. 4 plays or 8 plays, not more than that.
So I figured out how to beat him. It's up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start.
Well, so you it's
That's
pretty
all
much just
Chico, don't ask.
that's pretty much just a Mississippi State game plan. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Quinshon Judkins, he is going to break Herschel's record in the bowl game.
Yeah.
SEC Freshman of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
He's about 140 yards away from the freshman record.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
they're calling that Newcomer of the Year now.
Yeah.
So he did
Yeah.
win that?
Yeah, he won that.
Okay.
He should win the national freshman
I
of the
thought they
year.
were going to give it to Perkins. No, there's no way.
Perkins had an unbelievable last 4 or 5 games. I'm not taking that away from him, but the first one he didn't have anything remotely close to what he became. Quinshon's been solid all year.
Yeah, no, it has to go
Quinshon's
to
been
Quinshon.
carrying that offense.
Yeah,
It's rumored right now. The new NIL deal he signed is for $500,000 a year.
Nice.
With Ferrari.
No, the Grove Collective.
Yeah, just general money.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Somehow
funny
it took
thing is people don't even realize that if they run rival sites or 247 or On 3, that these collectives, now that they're going after micro money, is directly competing with them. So if it gets hard up, who is a fan going to do? Are they going to take their money away from the starting quarterback or whoever that they're funding for something they really enjoy, or a message board?
Depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can go to Twitter and yell at rent strangers, and you can do that for free.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay your $8 for your check mark.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, no, okay, I don't pay $8 for a check mark. I pay $8 to upload 10-minute videos. I just got a check mark for doing that.
Yeah.
Because I needed to be able to upload those videos because social is such a big, important part of my business strategy. I don't care about the check mark, but now I've got it too, so I have to kind of explain that away.
Respect my authority.
Yes. It's like I could care less about a check mark, but I need that for the uploading of 10-minute videos. Because I put my segment of Bet Online that I do every week, I put that up, and that's usually 7 or 8 minutes long. So,
yeah. Just put it on YouTube and just embed it.
Yeah, but I do it. That's in my normal show. I want it on social media to draw people over to the YouTube because they're more likely to click on videos than click on an embed link. Weird thing.
Yeah. I'm trying
Right
to figure
now,
out how to
go ahead.
I was trying to figure out how to get the YouTube embed link to play automatically.
No.
In Twitter. I'll have to ask my friend Elon.
Yeah, I've got a competition going right now with the Locked On Sooners webpage as a race to 3,000 subscribers. So if you're listening and have not subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe on the Y'all's Conference Network, but also subscribe to the Lock On Ole Miss page as well. We're about 25 or 30 subscriptions away from 3,000, and we're trying to beat those Locked On Sooners guys who are really big boying us at the moment.
So Steve, let me ask you a question. Did you understand the GIF that I attached when you said, "Hey, I need to get to 3,000"?
No.
You didn't understand that?
No, I don't think I saw it.
This is Bernie Mac.
Oh yeah, I saw that
Oh,
one.
Mr.
I did not understand it, but Mr. 3000.
Mr. 3000.
Mr. 3000.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Now you're doing it at 2,999.
We got some breaking news.
Uh-oh.
Former Wisconsin quarterback Graham Mertz is transferring to Kentucky.
Okay.
Hey, I called it.
Corey called it.
So, yep.
All hell, Corey Burton.
Mm-hmm.
Hail be to me.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right.
Good night, Cass.
Ole Miss fans just perked up. What? Huh?
Yeah.
Podcast coming
The
back?
great thing about it is,
Podcast?
Ole Miss has a nice-sized war chest of cash on hand for their NIL collective, so they could do really well in the portal this year. Plus, they don't need a running back, they don't need a quarterback, and so those high-dollar positions. So you basically get to, if you wanted to, you just get to bully defensive linemen, and be able to blow the market away when everybody like Auburn's going to have to spend $5 million on a quarterback because they don't want Robbie Ashford running around there again doing what he does. And, and that's nothing against Robbie. I'm just saying that they're going to want to try and be competitive for one of these top 5 type quarterbacks, and they're going to demand stupid money. But when you have a pretty well-stacked war chest and you don't need those high-dollar things, I mean, it should be very effective. The expectation is this is going to go really well. If it doesn't, it's all on Lane.
We'll try that later on tonight. Compliment somebody in their war chest. Jeb, you can try that one.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
On Snapchat.
I was just looking through because we were talking about Twitter. I have 140 followers, and 112 of them are trying to introduce me to local singles. So I'll try one of them.
See, you got plenty of opportunity here.
That's right. I had no reason to complain.
Well, Jeb, we do live an hour away from the capital of daddy issues this side of the Mississippi.
This is true. And I have not been there since I moved down here. I just don't know what's wrong with me. That's inside thing with Tampa. Y'all gotta come check it out at some point. It's fun.
Yeah. Tampa's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Somebody, please go to my video and watch it one more time because it's got 99 views.
Which video is that?
My last long show. Israel's in the state championship this week.
Oh, congratulations!
Nice. Nice.
So he's they're playing against they're in the Georgia. I think they're Class 5A.
Okay.
They're playing against who did they say they're playing against? Warner Robins, the Red Devils. Warner Robins. So I'm a few short of 3,000 on Bleav In Georgia Dawgs YouTube page.
Just a few.
I'm at 74 subscribers.
Close enough.
It's close, right? Let's see.
And one of those is me, because I like high quality content, and I'll subscribe to that.
Two of those are my other pages.
And one of them is ours, of course.
Yep. But here's my most followed page is actually Facebook. I have 956 followers on Facebook, 944 likes on the Facebook page.
You're probably are you beating me on TikTok?
It's debatable. Are you over 100 yet?
Oh yeah, I'm well over 100. I'm probably somewhere around 4 at this point.
We have followers on TikTok?
Pics.
Hey.
Oops.
I pulled up my TikTok page and it was playing.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm at 96 followers right now.
Okay.
I'm averaging about 250 views on my videos right now. I got when we did our playoff ranking, I did a playoff ranking short clip from this show actually, and got 432 views on it.
Playoffs. We're talking about playoffs.
Playoffs.
Wow. Practice.
We talking about practice, and then I did an ad for D's Nuts.
No, you didn't.
Okay, then.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
There's a
1997
company-
called and they want their joke back.
Yeah.
No, there's an actual brand of peanuts called D's Nuts.
Huh. Got it.
Not a very creative one.
No.
No, it's like this old lady. Her name is D.
Oh my God.
Like it's seriously like it. Like I'm not joking.
Wait, it was unintentional?
No, I mean it was intentionally unintentional. I mean it
So
was
it's like
it was
D
purely
apostrophe S nuts?
It's DEE.
Okay, it's intentional. Okay.
Yeah.
It's intentional,
Oh my gosh.
but like
Yeah.
they're banana pudding flavored peanuts.
What is with you people from Georgia? Good God.
What?
My
What is-
wife actually saw them and thought it was freaking hilarious. So she bought them. They're absolutely disgusting.
Huh. So John said it's true. You was doing a commercial with these nuts dressed as Snoop Dogg. Interesting.
Yeah, just a Snoop Dogg. Yeah, D-O-double-G.
How do you dress a Snoop Dogg? I don't know. Just put a bandana around your head? I don't.
I don't
you gotta
think
have-
Corey, don't think
Had
Corey
dreads.
can
That's fairly
dress as
normal
Snoop
stuff.
Dogg.
I'm not tall enough or skinny enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I would never be able to pull off Snoop Dogg. Maybe I could do Notorious B.I.G.
I could definitely do Notorious B.I.G., the miniature version.
I can do
It's
George
true.
Jones.
There you go.
Living like I'm George Jones.
Corey, you when he was like you holding it up, it said these nuts, and then you like had to look away for a second because you was fizzing to start laughing.
Oh, I was
so good.
dying, dude.
Yeah,
It's like an SNL skit where they're trying not to laugh.
you're right. Yes, that's so funny.
I did a taste test.
These delicious chocolate salty balls.
These nuts are taste remarkably accurate, I think is what I said. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Go to my TikTok page, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, if you really want to see this D's Nuts ad. But it's an actual company, and I found them on TikTok, and I tagged them, and they liked the video.
I gotta figure out who Randy Allen Wade is.
No,
Are you
I was
in
at a
South Florida?
party. I was at a party when I was in college, and
No, what? Really?
I know,
What, really?
yeah, No, nobody ever parties in college. I was focused on my studies.
Yeah.
So I was at a party and we were at this friend's house. I was back home. It was in the summer, first summer back. So we're back in our hometown or whatever. We're partying at this dude's house, and these like 4 rednecks were out in their driveway because we were partying. They were like, "Oh, we'll just sit out and watch these drunk idiots." And they were drinking their beer.
Must be my
And
family.
Rednecks out in Harlem Drive.
Yeah, man. Fayetteville, Georgia, baby. Fayetteville, Georgia. So, Fayetteville, Georgia. Yeah. So they they're hanging out. They're hanging out there in the driveway. So naturally,
Yes.
some of our party trickled over there, and so I naturally trickled over there because I wanted to see what I just was curious at what these rednecks had to say, and I was drinking the finest of beers, Natty Light, and
better than Beast.
Way better than Beast. One of our punishments for a card game was like if you lost, you had to chug a Beast ice. That was a different story for a different day. But so I walk over there, and this one guy just takes one look at me and goes, just starts dying laughing. He goes, "Holy man, he looks like that old Ryan Newman." Said I looked like Ryan Newman, and it absolutely it ended him. That ended his night, dude. He couldn't function because he was so flabbergasted and just he couldn't do it.
Hey, Facebook users.
Oh my God. He looked like Ryan Newman. Is Trigg still on the team?
Yeah, Trigg is still on the team. He's just suspended at the moment.
So yeah. So if you ever ask me who I look like, apparently I look like Ryan Newman
And Kirby.
All right. In lieu of picks this week, we don't have to get picks about them, but let's just announce and talk about a little bit some of the bowl games or all of the bowl games. We don't have to give a pick on them, but maybe give something you're looking forward to, like the Las Vegas Bowl on December 17th, Florida and Oregon State.
I'm not going to make a pick. I'm calling the game. So,
I just want to see if Florida has enough people to field a team. Or are they going to look like LSU did against Kansas State last year?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I think they're just going to use the practices to regroup and hit the transfer portal hard, and let's go. I don't have any expectation for Florida in this game.
Will Richardson be playing or
no? No,
I know they had a backup quarterback get arrested for child pornography. So
yeah.
I think Anthony Richardson is going to play. Even the people they're not opting out because this bowl game is so early in the future. It's next weekend. So I think Richardson and all that is going to play. You're going to have like Montrell Johnson. I keep wanting to call him Montrell Jordan.
This is how we do. I just want to see Florida look competent against Oregon State. Oregon State's a dang good football team.
They are. Yeah. And it's pretty much
they're 10.5-point favorites.
Pretty much a home game for them too, because they only got 100 miles.
And they haven't been in a bowl in a while too. So.
Okay, Jake, you just basically proved that you can't read a map.
Well, I know. Yeah.
Because he don't own a globe.
Nope. What's a globe?
That's the most Bama thing you've ever said.
Mm-hmm. I know.
What's a globe, man?
What's a globe, man?
Hey, boy, what's a globe?
What's a globe?
I bet you the bear invented it.
Probably.
He did. He invented it.
Wrong one.
Well, we hear.
Okay, we hear you, but we don't see you.
Yeah, I actually had it open in Firefox and whatever the hell this other one is, Edge. But I killed Firefox. Sorry.
Okay.
I didn't realize I had both going now.
Like I said, you're
You're
still black. You're not showing
You're
up
still
at the moment.
yeah. You're a black hole right now.
Hold on, I'll relog in.
DGD, what's up, man?
DGD.
Hey, Robert, my man.
There we go.
Hey.
Hey, he's
I was
back.
getting ready to put Mr. Commodore on there.
No, apparently
Steve.
I'm gonna have to kill Firefox.
Do
You
it.
should have killed
Chrome.
Firefox in 2008 like the rest of us.
Go with Chrome, man. Come on.
Chrome.
Yeah.
Steve, what are you expecting in the Texas Bowl? I know this is a very unfamiliar opponent.
Yeah.
Never played them before.
I expect Ole Miss to. I think they'll play pretty well. I think they'll look pretty good in the bowl game. They're going to come out with a little bit of piss and vinegar, so to speak. I think Quinshon Judkins is going to set the SEC freshman mark, meaning Herschel's going to have a really bad December this year.
Oh.
And
Not a December to remember.
and
Lord.
and Texas Tech, they beat bad teams. The teams that beat Texas Tech are good teams. Joey McGuire is a very fundamentally sound. He's got Texas Tech going in the right directions. He's a high school football legend in that state. And if you come out there and you turn the ball over, if you play sloppy, Texas Tech will beat you. If you play clean, you play good football, Ole Miss, I think, has better players than Texas Tech does at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for Ole Miss, just play clean and you'll wipe the floor with Texas Tech, man. The Music City Bowl, Iowa versus Kentucky. My guy Josh Cook is an Iowa fan, so he might be coming down here. We might actually do our first ever, all three together in the same room, live, Illegal Motion College Football Podcast. So that'll be fun. But as far as that game goes, I think the
10-7.
over-under was set at 31.
Yeah. Yeah, at 10-7, I can see that.
Yeah, and
That
Will
game
Levis
was
opted out, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well,
so
yeah, he's
nobody
gonna
has
go
a
work out for the
quarterback
Panthers.
of the worst offense that I have ever seen from both teams. I mean, it's legitimately going to be like a early 80s, late 70s football game where like the big upset was Mississippi State beating Alabama 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance something like that could happen.
I want to know the over/under on how often Kentucky stays in the Wildcat.
100% of the time because they
Probably
are
so.
the
The Wildcat. Yeah, okay.
You can
and
leave
because they don't have a quarterback.
Thank you.
You can see yourself out. Yeah, this game, and as fickle as the weather is in Middle Tennessee, I anticipate it being really cold and windy because for some reason in that game it's always really cold and windy for an 11 a.m. kick.
Nissan Stadium is always the coldest place on earth.
tunnel.
It doesn't matter what's going on, and inside that stadium, it's going to be colder than you could possibly believe. Ole Miss has played there twice. Once in 2000, that was Eli Manning's first game. It was so freaking cold. It was like 28 degrees. And then they played against Georgia Tech a couple of years ago, and it was again like 28 degrees. Honestly, Nashville needs the dome that they're going to build just for the Music City Bowl because these outdoor games at this time of the year have no business. Like Nissan's just oppressively cold.
It'll still be 28 degrees. They'll figure out a way to just make it 28 degrees. So yeah, I expect this game to be that way because the weather's going to suck probably because it just always sucks up here this time of year. The two offenses.
Why I moved?
I don't think that they know how to play offense. These two teams, they're adverse to it.
They asked Kurt
Brian
Ferentz.
Ferentz, Brian Ferentz is statistically the worst offense in college football.
They asked Kurt Ferentz his most overrated statistic, and he came back with offensive yards. True story.
Whatever statistic saves my son is basically what his answer was.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need the AD's not going to do anything. Gary Barter, the president needs to step in and just say, "I'm just going to blow this whole thing up, start over."
Mm-hmm.
It's you talk to Josh. I mean, Josh, you hear the culture about Iowa. It's bad. There's racial undertone stuff going on. There's like racial stuff going on there. There's all kind of stuff with the Ferentzes and the hierarchy and they must walk around with double middle fingers and just daring someone to fire them because some of the stuff they do, you're just like, how are you not getting fired for that?
Yeah,
how are you able to keep a job?
And Matt Campbell's like 1-6 against Kurt Ferenc.
Dang, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's sad.
Mm-hmm.
That's more of a talk about a hex, talk about a curse there, a uniform curse. Like it's Iowa State sees that uniform and they're just like, who could go?
Yeah,
that's historical. That's just historical momentum there because Iowa State used to be Garbaggio.
Terrible.
They used to be the Garbagios. Jake, what are you expecting to see against Kansas State?
Gonna have a lot of people opting out, and with all the people in the transfer portal, we're down to like 8 scholarship linemen right now. So, and if you have Tyler Steen and Emil Ekiyor not playing, well, there you go. We're down to 6 pretty much. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens. See if Bryce actually plays. If he don't, I understand. But if he doesn't, then it's next man up. Let's see what Jalen Milroe can do. Let's see what Todd Simpson can do. I mean, if there's another guy who's been sitting on the bench all year, just put him out there so what he can do because we know we're going to need some offensive help next year.
Just a little bit.
But the biggest thing is Bill O'Brien is probably going to coach his last game at Alabama.
Is that something you're hearing that's picking up steam, or you just open to speak it into existence?
He signed on for 2 years, and he told Saban he'll give him 2 years, and nothing's been said about an extension or anything. So we're hoping it's his last game.
This just feels like Bill O'Brien will be like assistant head coach.
I know.
And they'll announce it like January 7th.
Yeah, and I will cry. And I will.
That's right. That's right. Bill Bryan, not Bill Bryan. Yeah, Bill Bryan. Sorry about that, John. There's no O in that name.
I saw a report, and I know Jake had to be so happy, and then had just got crushed all in one when Georgia Tech realized they couldn't afford to hire anybody else besides Brent Key.
Yeah.
But Bill O'Brien almost went to Georgia Tech. That would have been.
Well, there's also rumors about him going back to New England, so I don't know if that would ever happen either, but
that would be a very Belichick thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I mean, we're not talking about the transfer portal anymore, but Ole Miss needs to sign JoJo Earl.
JoJo Earl, that really hurt him going in the portal.
Wants to go find a real offense like Iowa.
Well,
you see Cade McNamara? You see Cade McNamara went to Iowa?
Iowa. Yeah,
the rumor is that's where Eric All is going to end up at too.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is the Ferentzes getting fired or something? Am I missing something here?
Yeah.
There's a 2-hour outside zone clinic that Brian Ferentz is talking. It's like this. It's sponsored by Sharon Williams, like John said, and Scott's Turf Builder because it's more exciting to watch the grass grow.
Ain't that the truth?
Terrible.
We all have jokes.
Jeb,
yeah.
Your thoughts on the Orange Bowl?
Puke.
It's appropriately named.
Yeah, it is.
Definitely appropriately named.
Yeah.
No, I'd have felt a lot better about it if Hooker was playing, and I hate that he's not going to get to finish out his season, but I don't think we're going to have too many opt-outs beyond that. I'm sure Cedric Tillman will, but again, that's because of injury. Other than that, I think most people are going to play. I think it'll be a good game. Clemson's got a great defense, so it'll be interesting to see.
Strong.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not Georgia defense level, which has been the one defense that's really just stifled us down this year. So I'm hoping that means Tennessee puts up plenty of points and wins this game. It's going to be exciting. It's somebody I wanted to play, so I think that's going to be great. We had some issues with Dabo running his mouth, and now we get to go shut it. I'm excited.
Please do.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah,
I figure most people in the SEC would be all right with us doing that.
I'm expecting Joe Milton to just run through somebody, just in somebody.
Well, that's all you can do.
That's one of the biggest things we're looking for from this game. Is this going to really give us a clue if he's going to be the guy next year, or if we need to be attacking the transfer portal as well for a quarterback? So,
well, what about the guy y'all got? That's the $8 million quarterback.
Well, he's going to be a true freshman, though. I'm not expecting him to start next year.
You think Heupel's scared about that?
No, if he's ready, he will. I just don't think he'll be ready at that point. Although he is an early enrollee, so I mean, he'll be here early. We'll see. You never know. We do have a 4-star that was a freshman this year sitting on the bench too. I mean, everybody seems to just completely forget about him, though. I don't know if that means he's had a bad season or.
And they will continue to forget about him because he will get jumped and he will be in the portal.
Yeah.
That kid played for who?
I'm assuming after next year it'll be Nico for at least 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nobody's talking about it, but at the Elite 11, that Nico got the advance to the Elite 11 final. He got his ass whooped by Marcel Reed that day, and people say that Marcel should have went to those finals. Seriously, Nico, to the point where after it was over, Nico was like, "I was sick, I wasn't feeling good." But yeah, Marcel Reed in the state championship game threw like 5 or 6 touchdown passes in a loss to Baylor.
Yeah, I watched that game. I was like, "Oh God, how did they lose this game?" I'm still dumbfounded. How did NBA lose that game?
Because their offense is from 1997.
They couldn't tackle.
Yeah,
they couldn't tackle 34 for Baylor.
Did you
the quarterback from Baylor is Whit Muschamp.
Yeah,
Will Muschamp's son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you see Archie Manning's last game in his in high school? It was awful. He threw I think 2 or 3 picks and. He got beat in the championship game like 42-13 or something like that.
Arch Manning.
Yeah, Arch.
I thought you were making a joke. It's like, did you see Archie Manning's last game in high school?
I meant Arch.
Joke,
Arch, right? Yeah.
Arch Manning. That's the way he went out last year too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a bad sign.
Not a good sign.
Texas is a problem.
I don't know any of that. All I know is I'm not trading Nico for any quarterback in this class. I'm excited.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade Marcel for anybody.
I just don't think he's going to be ready as a freshman.
Steve, you can have Brock Vandegrift. If you want him.
Nah, that's all right.
I heard he's going to transfer to Georgia Southern, maybe.
Yeah, now that they throw the football.
Yeah. And as soon as he gets down there, they won't. It'd be hilarious. So the Gator Bowl's intriguing. You got Notre Dame versus South Carolina. That's an
swag bowl.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you that
hot right now.
I can guarantee you that Shane Beamer will not be dunked with mayo.
Thank God.
That was the most vile thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. So awful.
Can they stay on their hot streak against Notre Dame? Notre Dame's a pretty good team now. Notre Dame took USC gave them everything they wanted.
I mean, they gave Ohio State if they won the first game of the season. So,
yeah, and I think it's a good matchup for South Carolina. That's actually going to be a fun game to watch. Where normally, some of these.
It's going to be to see where they're going to be at for next year.
What's the ReliaQuest Bowl, by the way?
It's the old Outback Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In Tampa.
I thought it was ReliaQuest Bowl, but ReliaQuest. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
It was the Tampa Bay Bowl, and then they got the sponsor for it. But the Outback ended it last year, so that's the Outback Bowl. That's in Raymond James.
Right.
Okay. The new sombrero. But yeah, no, I'm curious to see if Rattler can have another good game. See if they have an answer for Michael Mayer. The way they didn't have an answer for Brock Bowers, that'll be a problem for South Carolina, potentially. But we'll see. We'll see what they got. Josh,
will South Carolina have any tight ends?
Yeah, I think they all transfer.
Every one of them in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Outback is a terrible restaurant now.
They're still around.
The one down here is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same as it always was.
I haven't been to a good Outback
in
a while.
I don't think it was ever great. I think it was hyped up a little much, but
well, even in this town, whenever we go out and eat a steak, we go to Longhorn, and that's with an Outback in town.
I mean, Outback's got pretty good. They're got decent. Like every once in a while, when they get it right, it's really good. But they don't always get it right.
So quick story time.
Ooh,
they're like Spencer Rattler. You know, when they get it right, it's right. But most of the time, it's not.
Funny. Speaking of Outback, me and Cassie, this happened a few years ago. We went to Tuscaloosa to a ball game, and we stayed the night down there. And the night before the game, and we was like, okay, look, what do you want to eat at? There's an Outback in there. We hadn't been there for a while. Okay, so did the directions. Get down there where I missed a turn. I went all the way around the stadium, did a huge circle, got back to where we started at, leaving our hotel. Went down the same as that way. I missed a turn again, had to circle back another 5 miles around the stadium, come back. I did it 2 more times. I missed the same freaking turn 4 times before I finally got it right to get to the freaking Outback. And it was like 9 o'clock at this point. I was like, they ain't going to serve us no food. They're ready to close up. So it was awful. I was like, oh my God.
A little bit of drinking and driving there? What was going on?
No, I'm just an idiot when it comes to directions. So.
How'd you not just come to a complete stop and go, okay, this is my turn, I'm going to make it?
But there's a red light, there's a red light, and it was like a 4-way road that but 2 of them turned to the left, 1 went to the right, 1 went straight, and I thought we had to turn on the right. Well, I guess it never clicked the first time when I went right that it was the one that went straight. So I did it 3 more times.
One thing that the state of Florida does really well, and I'm not talking about the Gators or anything like that, the state of Florida, is there are breakfast diners that serve all day all over the state. There's like 14 of them in the town that I live in. And it is awesome. You just bacon it. You can do whatever you want. The bacon and eggs and everything set up. They're all over the place.
We call those Waffle Houses around here.
Yeah, it's more than just. We have Waffle Houses downhill here. We have Denny's and IHOP and all those. And then we also have like Big Tom's Diner and
Egg Haven.
Bistro.
Yeah. Skillet's a Florida chain. There's some in like I've seen one. They're all in like Southwest Florida.
I've seen a Skillet yet.
Yeah.
And the thing about Waffle House, the worse the score, the better it is. So go to one that's got like a 60 overall rating.
Well, that's the measure for panicking of hurricanes down here. All the other chains may close, but as long as Waffle House is open, you're fine. If it closes, get out of town.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. I heard somebody refer to Waffle House as breakfast hibachi.
Yes.
Hibachi.
Yes.
Love it, man.
Story time for me. My anniversary meal. Everybody takes their wife out for their anniversary. It's kind of a traditional thing for me and my wife. We go get Waffle House on December 28th, and we've done that for 22 years. And
nice.
Yeah, now it's kind of morphing into Denny's because Waffle House is in Bartow. It's like 10 miles away, but there's a Denny's like a mile down the road. But
is this kind of like a metaphor for y'all's marriage? Is y'all go play Russian roulette with food?
Yeah.
Is one of us going to die today?
Die? If one of us going to have the best meal of our freaking life.
Best meal of our life, and then spend the next 4 hours on the turlet.
Yeah. I'm more surprised that Becky's put up with you for 22 years.
Yeah, it's amazing.
No more surprised than I am.
Well, with Ed Reed down the street, that might not be too
good.
We're lucky that Becky wasn't on the show tonight with Coach Prime getting the job at Colorado.
Oh yeah, she would have taken over.
So when y'all moving to Colorado?
Yeah.
She's kind of wanted to move out there anyway, so
the legalized weed thing.
Yeah. I'd come visit.
I bet you would, Jeb.
Yeah, I bet you would.
I was like, y'all gonna put me in the ground here. We're not moving again.
Love it, man.
Oh man, that's great.
So
30 subscribers away from 3,000.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
30 to go. We're gonna hit it the next day or so. Yeah.
Hit it.
Well, before we go though, I do want to hear what you think about Georgia in this first game against Ohio State.
Well, I think if we can affect the quarterback, C.J. Stroud, and
blow out,
we can blow them out because I don't think they have any answers for our offense. I mean, I don't think we'll have any trouble scoring unless we decide we want to start turning the ball over, which is possible. We've done that a few times. But
They got pushed
if
around
we play a
against
clean
Memphis.
game,
They got pushed around against Michigan. Oh my God!
Yeah.
oh, I
Lord
thought you
help
said
them.
Memphis. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh God, they didn't play Memphis, but damn, that's embarrassing.
That would've been-
Yeah, they did get pushed around by Michigan big time. Like Michigan was ripping off like 70-yard runs like it was nothing. Like they were just in practice.
Yeah.
Like the guys slowed down. Like really, there's nobody around me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you thought Blake Corum missing him was going to be like a big deal, and it just wasn't at all.
It wasn't at all.
Ryan Day is about 1 or 2 years away from this becoming a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They were talking about it this year, so it might be even closer.
Yeah.
Because they're
Like-
they're probably going to get big boy New Year's Eve.
One more loss
Oh, they're
to Michigan.
about as spoiled there are some other people.
And
Yeah,
they're calling
it won't take
Vrabel.
long. Yeah, that was the Vrabel from the NFL. I do remember that.
That'll
Yeah.
happen.
I do like that with Ole Miss fans, we went 8-4, and people are just pissed off.
Yeah.
Just pissed off about it.
Don't
It's
you
like-
love when you've gotten to that point?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's a good point to be at, though.
That's
Much
good.
as I make fun of some people for being spoiled, I wish I was there.
Yeah,
That's good.
seriously.
It's good to be. Just wait till you get pit. Just wait till people get pissed off and they fire Lane Kiffin for winning 10 games a year.
Mm. Just wait for that to happen.
Wait till you get to that point.
You already have the crazies out there that would think about that. But
Well, they did it now.
I mean, it's that, well, the man makes $9 million a year. He's making so much money. There's only like 7 or 8 coaches that make more than him. And all of those guys, you have the right to expect and demand equal results to those guys. And the problem for Lane is those guys are all playing for conference championships and competing for the playoffs.
well, he can
with
look
the-
at it and say, "Hey, I make as much money as Ryan Day, and he's getting blown out by Michigan." So,
Yeah. And soon to be Georgia.
soon to
Yeah.
be Georgia.
Yep.
So,
Oh, next year, Corey, Ole Miss and Athens.
oh, love it, love it. Well, if I'm not coaching next year, we might need to hit that up.
Or we can watch it on TV. That's fine.
Or we can watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm getting
don't wanna
old.
get-
Come on, this is
Yeah, like I'm not going all the way up to Athens.
Come on, we'll by that time this show will be so big that we'll be able to take our private jet to Athens.
That's right.
Oh, there you
we'll have radio stations wanting to syndicate us like radio shows in the past. Like what was the conference call from back in the day with like Max Howell?
Yeah, we're gonna be like the Bill King show, but better.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Alrighty, Tennessee. Some of the things we would hear, just like you would hear every once in a while, because Jason Ogg would like let sound bleed out every once in a while, and so you just kind of hear him through the glass, but every once in a while, like you'd hear what's coming through Ogg's headphones, and it'd be like Tennessee, Oklahoma. Bob Stoops,
Hello, Louisville Cardinal fans.
and then like you would hear a sentence, and you're like, "God, that was exhausting." The way he talks, you're just like exhausted for him, and you're like,
The show would end, and like Chris Childers would immediately get into some kind of verbal altercation with Jason Ogg, me, or the guys sitting in the room. Somebody was fighting with Chris after every show. That's another thing that was absolutely exhausting.
"Yeah, the show pony." No, yeah. That was a lot of fun. Well, somebody would poke him, like Blair would poke him, you would poke him. Sometimes I'd poke him. Tom would definitely poke him. We call it poking the bear.
No,
Somebody would poke the bear.
We all deserved it. I mean, him. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We got exactly what we were trying to do. But making fun
Call
of
Mad Dog. Tell him to fire you. That's my favorite line. Call Mad Dog. Tell him to fire you. Christopher Mad Dog Russo. Mad Dog Radio on Sirius. Jeb's like confused.
I listened to some of that while I was driving last weekend, actually. Mad Dog
Yeah.
Radio.
Yeah, it was different whenever we had Rivals Radio back in the day.
Yeah.
Steve, you and I could have dominated Rivals Radio.
Oh, we could have. But I'm not waking up
Never
at
got
3
that
o'clock in the morning to
Jeez.
host that show.
Jesus.
I mean, I was already up, so it didn't matter to me. But
Yeah, you had to come in, but I was like, I'm not getting there until like 7:30 or 8. Yeah, we'll be here for the last hour of it. What's going on, and we'll just like get our reward from there. I'm not doing all the early stuff. I had to cover you for a couple of times with the Yahoo Sports Minute, and man, I just wanted to kill myself.
yeah, I was bad for a number of reasons.
It was terrible.
Sure.
Like, Blair sitting right over your shoulder. What about this?
Oh,
Looks
Lord.
weird.
Why don't
weird.
you move that
no, it doesn't.
2 frames closer? No. I was wrong. 4 frames backwards.
I don't like the way that picture's moving.
Eh.
It's fine.
Do you think that's too
You're
slow?
gonna see it. You're gonna see it for like a second and a half. So shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
There's a major problem that people have, and it comes down to decision making. And if you can't make a decision, your life is going to be infinitely harder than people that can. And he struggled to make a decision. He wanted everything to be exact and perfect. And you might chalk that up to like he really cares about his job. Well, I chalk it up to you being completely anal retentive and wasting my time. Because 2 frames either direction is not going to change the product. It's going to change the way you think about the product. And like that is what would drive me crazy.
As long as it has good flow, it doesn't
Yeah.
like the overall flow of it, doesn't match up with the script. Now, is it like sometimes like you might be completely off based on the script? Like, because I would have to come in and prepare all of the video based on just what the story was instead of like, and then I'd have to, then when I got Ashley's voice track in there, then I would rematch the video. So, okay, so she said it this way, so I need to adjust it here. And sometimes she like spoke too short, and so I had to like really cut the highlights so it looked disjointed. And sometimes she spoke really long on something, and I had to like repeat it, and that blew his mind. But I had to make adjustments. But like when he was out, and I was the producer and editor, man, we got done just like that, man. It was like I knew what I wanted. I wrote the script, and Ashley read it in one take.
No, she didn't. No, I'm not believing that.
She did. She wrote it. She read it in one take.
I am not believing that. Some of the
did.
longest mornings of my life was when Ashley Russell was trying
I wrote
to read a
it. I
script.
wrote it simple enough to where she could. Like I made it to where she could not screw it up.
Yeah. Good grief. She would just get frustrated where you just have to take a walk. Just take a walk. We'll come back to this in 15 minutes. I mean, there were literally moments like that.
Yeah, it's some scripts just really torched her.
Yeah.
Mine didn't. I was the whisper. I wrote good scripts apparently.
C spot run. Oh.
And watch it again. Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
Well,
Louisville
let's get out of
Cardinals,
here
man.
and let everybody go to sleep.
Yeah, it's a long day for me,
Yeah.
so I'm ready to go to bed.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to do it for us here.
We'll have picks
What?
next week. We'll do bowl picks next week.
Whole pick.
Picks.
Sounds good.
Picks.
Well, I'm
Hey,
picking Oregon
hey.
State. That's my early pick. So
Hey,
we
hey,
are the
hey.
SEC After Dark podcast on the
Hey, what-
Bleav Network and the Y'all's Conference Network, presented by BetOnline.ag. We hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to Steve's channel. He's only 30 away from 3,000, so subscribe to his channel so that he beats the Sooners. And we'll see you back here next week, hopefully better than ever. And we'll talk to you then. Have a great rest of your week. Go Stetson. Go Dogs. Let's
Go
let's
Navy.
take home that Heisman. Go Navy, beat Army.
Roll Tide.
Powell.
Roll Tide, Paul. First time, long time, Paul.